Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's DIY, I'll be creating a dupe of this beautiful zgallerie wall sconce for only a fraction of the price, using mostly Dollar Tree products. Since I already had most of the items needed for this DIY on hand, it cost me less than $5 to make. So if you're a Dollar Tree DIY crafter, more than likely you'll have a lot of these items on hand as well. The wall sconces are inexpensive, easy to make, and they both turned out very beautiful. If you're interested in learning how to make these, then please keep watching. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell as well. Now on to the DIY. Here are some of the items that I'll be using in this DIY. Some acrylic diamonds from Dollar Tree. This picture that I also picked up at Dollar Tree. These tower blocks from Dollar Tree. Some bling. This is the 3-roll wrap, and I also have the 5-roll wrap. I won't be using these in the DIY, but this is an option. And this is the acrylic garland. All you have to do is take the rings off and use the gems individually. These acrylic gems are an option as well. I have some glue gun that I picked up at Dollar Tree. Some FIXALL glue, some silver spray paint, some Gorilla Glue, some painter's tape, and some junk mail. Oh yeah, and we need a pair of scissors. Remove the blocks from the packaging. Start out with 10 blocks, and what you're going to do is make 2 rows of 5 and then glue those together. And as you can see, I'll be using the FIXALL from Dollar Tree to glue those all together. Once they're all glued together, set them aside to dry. As you can see, some of the glue leaked out, so I just put the blocks on the back of this mirror. Now add a border on top of the bottom layer of blocks. As you can see, it'll take 6 blocks to create that border. I then use more of the FIXALL glue to glue those blocks down. Once the border was lined up properly with the bottom, I set it aside to dry. So now while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and remove the packaging from this picture. Then I'm going to remove the lettering from the glass. I first tried the glue gun and it was a complete fail. I initially wanted to use a razor blade to remove the lettering, but I didn't have one. So I decided to use the blades on the X-Acto knife, and it worked out perfect. I applied very light pressure and just slowly scraped the lettering off. Wiped it down with my cloth that had the glue gun on it, and then just completed the same steps until all the lettering was gone. Once you're done, you'll have something that looks like this. My next step is to spray paint the frame silver. But before I do that, I'm going to seal out the front of the glass with the junk mail and the painter's tape. Using the tape, create a border around the frame and get as close to the edge as you possibly can. Once that's done, go ahead and seal in the open space with the junk mail. Now we're ready to spray paint. We're not going to spray paint the back. Spray paint the whole front of the frame, including the sides as well. The wooden block is dry now, so we're going to go ahead and spray paint that as well. And I'll be using this Rust-Oleum silver paint that I showed you at the beginning of the video. Once your frame is dried, it should look like this. And here are the blocks that we painted earlier. This is actually going to be the candle holder. And I forgot to spray paint the bottom, so I'll do that too. Remove the tape and the paper from your frame. Once that's done, you'll have something that looks like this. Now it's time to add the acrylic diamonds onto the glass. Remember, if you don't have the acrylic diamonds, you can use these gems that's sold at Dollar Tree. You can also use the gems from this acrylic garland. The gems from the acrylic garland is my preference, but I'm trying to use more Dollar Tree products in this DIY. There's no pattern to the original sconce, so just randomly place your gems down onto the glass. Once you're satisfied with how they look, glue them down with the FIXALL glue. Add a small amount of glue on the head of the gem and press it down firmly onto the glass. Repeat that step until all gems are glued down. Now I'll set these aside to dry. My gems are all dried, and as you can see, I went ahead and started decorating my frame with the Dollar Tree bling. I'm using the FIXALL glue from Dollar Tree, but feel free to use the glue of your choice. The sides of the frame are pretty wide, so I'll be using the 5-row bling to cover the outside of the frame. So just take the bling and line it up against the frame, measure and cut. Spread the glue evenly on the outside of the frame, then attach the bling, smooth it out, and move on to the next step until the frame is completely covered. Once you're done with the outside, you'll have something that looks like this. Now we're going to take the 3-row bling and glue it to the front of the frame, and we'll do the same as before. Measure, cut, and glue it down. Now that that's done, let's take 2 rows of bling and glue it along the inside of the frame. I used a popsicle stick to spread the glue along the inside of the frame before adding the bling. Repeat these steps until all sides are done. Once you're done, you should have something that looks like this. I set the frame aside to dry, so now it's time to cover the candle holder with the bling. And we're going to follow the same steps as before. Measure, cut, and glue. I cut 1 row of the 5-row bling wrap to cover the outside of the candle holder. So now that we have the outside covered, I'm going to go ahead and put some bling on the top, and then I'll add some at the bottom as well. And this is what the top and the bottom looks like. I didn't add bling here because I'll be gluing it to the base of my frame. I'm using the Gorilla Glue along with some hot glue to hold it in place while the Gorilla Glue sets up. Hold it for a few seconds and then set it aside to dry. And here's our completed dupe of the zgallerie wall sconce. I'm going to let this dry, come back, and attach a hook on the back. While this drying, I decided to make a second wall sconce. This one would be a more blinged out, glammed up version of the zgallerie wall sconce. I had some leftover mirror tiles from a previous DIY, so I decided to use the remaining tiles in this DIY. These tiles come with an adhesive backing, so all you have to do is measure, use a utility knife or a razor blade to separate the tiles, then line the tiles up and glue them down. Sometimes you won't have a perfect fit, but I'll address that later in the video. I still have some mirror tiles left over, so I'm going to add some to the candle holder as well. Now that the sides are covered, I'm going to add some on the top and the bottom as well. Now that I'm done adding tiles to the frame and the candle holder, I'm going to glue these together just like I did the one before. I forgot to mention, please use a really strong adhesive. Do not use a FIXALL to hold these two pieces together because eventually it will fall apart. Now I'll set this aside to dry as well. Back to our first wall sconce. The glue has completely set up, so now I'll go ahead and attach the hook on the back. This hook also came from a previous DIY, but you can find a similar hook in the Dollar Tree wall hanging kits. I'm going to attach this hook using the Gorilla Glue along with some hot glue. Position the hook in the middle, press it down in place, and then set it aside to dry. Now I'll do the same thing for my second wall sconce. I'm going to be using some rhinestones, some string lights, and if you can find the ones from Dollar Tree, that would be perfect. I purchased these from Amazon and they're too long, so I'll just be using these temporarily in the video, and I'll replace them later. Here I have some decorative paper that I cut from a Dollar Tree bag, and the cardboard backing from a picture frame. Here's another cardboard backing that I previously cut to fit my wall sconce. Now I'll glue the paper to the cardboard and then cut it. You can use whatever glue you like, but I'll be using the hot glue. If you decide to do this version of the wall sconce, add the decorative backing on before you add the hook. That way you won't have the opening that you see me cutting out. You can actually see the opening from the front of the frame, so for that reason, add the hook after you add the back. So I'm going to level my wall sconce out by propping it up on this roll of ribbon. So now I'll use my glue gun to glue the string lights around the perimeter of the frame. Line the very beginning of the string light to one of the corners of your frame. Add a dollop of hot glue. Hold it in place until the glue sets up, and then continue to move all the way around the frame. Do not add glue directly to the lights on the string. I'm going to finish adding the lights off camera, and once that's done, I'll come back and go on with the DIY. Once you're done adding the lights, you'll have something that looks like this. Now it's time to add your decorative backing to the back of your frame. I'm going to use a light amount of hot glue because this is temporary until I replace my string lights. Just line the back up with the frame. Apply hot glue between the back and the frame, press it down, and hold it until the glue sets up. Repeat these steps until the back is completely glued on. Once you're done, you'll have something that looks like this. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm going to address the open spaces with the mirror tiles. I'm going to add some large rhinestones in each corner to cover up the gaps in the mirror tiles. Now that that's done, I'm going to add 2 smaller rhinestones on each side of the larger rhinestones. And once you're done, you'll have something that looks like this. Now about the back, remember to add the hook after you add the back on there so you don't have that opening. But yeah guys, this is it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now I'll turn down the lights so you can see it lit up. I'm going to hang both sconces on the wall. Come back and let you guys see what they look like on display. And here are my 2 completed zgallerie inspired wall sconces. And again, because I had a lot of the items on hand already, they only cost me about $5 each to make. But if you're a crafter, I'm sure that you could probably do these for about $10 or less. I think that's a pretty good amount of savings compared to zGallerie's prices. I think the second one is my favorite. If you guys have a favorite, comment below. Okay everyone, this completes my DIY. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please leave me a thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.